welcome into the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. We have several different topics I'd like to go over today. First, we'll take a look at the explosive opportunity right now, as XRP appears to be on the verge of an explosive move here. And there's no denying that, as right now we're going to attempt to try to close over 56 cents with the daily close. We've got a key deadline coming into focus here with the SEC versus Ripple. I'll go over that. Got a nice article that actually gives a nice representation of what's to come here in the immediate short term. And then I also want to go over basically what Forbes has put out. And they're talking about what's happened with Ethereum, Bitcoin, and also XRP they include in this article. They're talking about how this is just the beginning. So now we can start to see if confidence, opinion is starting to sway a little bit. And if it's the case that we're starting to sway opinion just a little bit here, you could start looking at a wholesale move with the institutional investors, but not just institutions, because they seem to be starting to buy in now. You could start to have a little flip here when it comes to retail investors. So that's going to be very interesting. So we'll look at that. We'll also look at the fact that Bitcoin, as we've been trying to warn here, if you're new, you wouldn't have heard this yet, but if you're here, you'll continue to hear this plea by me. While we're having this run up with Bitcoin, the shorts are going to eat their shorts. No matter where you try to put in a short, you're going to have a small correction and then it just eats it back up. Exactly what we just seen again. So be very careful if you're going short across the market. We're going to talk about DGB. It's up about 8% right now. We'll take a look at H-bars. It's up about 8.5% right now. We'll get into Bitcoin. We'll look at XLM. We'll look at some of the other ones. XDC, which I believe a pending move is coming as we speak. It's up 2.2% today, but I believe a much bigger move is likely in store for that as well. So it's a very optimistic, a very bullish feel. With the markets not being open for President's Day tomorrow, a lot of people thought we were just going to dump. And that's a thinly traded weekend. Everybody's assuming that the liquidity pool is going to be down. But like I always say, if they're trying to extend a rally, if you have thinly trading anything, it's much easier to move the price up because you don't have as much volatility, and you also don't have as many people that are paying attention to the market. So they might be on vacation. They might be doing their own thing, but the ETFs aren't allowing money to come in right now because they're closed. So now if somebody wants to make a profit on Bitcoin, they don't have the opportunity to do it through an ETF. See, they can't even buy Grayscale right now. So if they're trying to make a quick swing, trying to do a leverage, that's what we're seeing now. So a lot to talk about. I'm going to do this intro, but please make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. We can have a wider audience and we can continue to build this beautiful audience base. I can't even believe I'm saying it, but we went over 20,100 subscribers just the other day. And it's been moving at a pretty nice pace here the last few weeks. And I do appreciate all the support from each and every one of you, as even being here on a Sunday, I can tell it's going to be an explosive Sunday. I should probably get my phone out in the very beginning just so that I can meet the comment requirements here in the very beginning, because I already know it's going to be explosive based on the way that the market's moving. So let me do the intro, then I'll turn comments on once I catch up. So good evening, 6:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, February 18th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Not only do we have the charts here today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to talk about the approaching Ripple versus SEC deadline, a couple of key points that we have to talk about. We're going to talk about what Forbes is starting to put out now with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP in the headline, talking about how this could be just the beginning of an explosive move. Now, there's some conjecture in there, as I've read through it, where they talk about the 1 million Bitcoin, which I think is far-fetched. But if the Fed starts to lower rates now, and they are going in the quantitative easing, as we've talked about for 7 months, which is why we had the buy everything alert. Buy everything. When I started doing FOMO Fridays and Winning Wednesdays, because we knew we were at a bottom. Everybody was convinced we were cutting in half still, and it was just the time. It was just the time, and now we're positioned so beautifully right now that I almost have to pinch myself sometimes to realize what we've accomplished since 2021. Not only being in the rally, but selling out at almost the peak of the rally, and then not buying back until the ground level of the dump. And now we've been watching, and some of our stuff were up 300-400%, and others were up 50%, like XRP, or 60. Others were up 2. It's just been a remarkable feat right now. But I think this is just the start of what's to come. Not necessarily the fact that all the gains are going to go out of control forever and ever and all eternity and it's never going to go down. I just think we're at the precipice of something big. 24 is a good year compared to 23. 23 was the accumulation to hell. 24 is when you get that false hope because of the presidential election. You have an ecstatic bear market rally if that's all it is. But if you got into it before the bear market rally started some months ago, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness is all I can say. You're going to wake up one day and we're going to say, what in God's green earth is going on around these parts? It's going to be just like 21. I don't know how many of you were there. Maybe somebody could say in the comments. I had all 1,500 subscribers. We went to bed one night. We had about $5,700 on our account after it went up a little bit. We had spent $3,500. Next day we woke up. There was a day when we went from 57 to 94 to 16,000 in a matter of like 72 hours. It was insanity. Insanity. Or maybe it was like a matter of a week, but it was insanity. I remember coming on every single day, and that's what we're thriving for. The crazy thing is, this portfolio, we put 7,000 into it as a community. If you're new, if you followed what we were doing, if you're old, you have the exact same portfolio as me. That's up almost to 14,000 right now. And we haven't even begun. Nothing's begun yet. So we're basically at our portfolio highs of 21 and we haven't done nothing yet. That's how I always say you become millionaires, not in bull markets, but you have to run the cycles. You have to start to understand that you can push into one avenue, but you don't overextend yourself. If you see the rally's over, if a bull market ends or a mini bear market rally, that's fine. If you have to reconsolidate, get out and reconfigure it. You have to just have a plan in place. So we're going to continue to run this journey, but it's going to be exciting tonight. Let me get to the comments because I'm talking too much already. I don't even know how long I've talked. Stephen Jackson, welcome in. Thank you all. Thank you for all your hard work and for being present with us. You are welcome, Stephen. I really appreciate that. Matt Holden, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army. He's got the emoji badge. Him and Mo, actually, now that I see right up top here, Mo and Matt have been in Tom's Army for 5 to 6 months with the XRP Meteor. That's the emoji badge that you too could have if you join Tom's Army. Brave Souls, Daily Facts and Motivational Shorts. Hello, my friend. XRP Stu, good evening. JW, welcome in. Thank you. And Angela, love, thank you as well for being in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. I greatly appreciate that from both of you. Chat, welcome in. Trading with J-Ride, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years and counting. I'm sure it's about 3 years now. With the 589 badge, I greatly appreciate that. If you're new, I do say hi to everybody. So we'll get through this in just a sec. Jesser Bellington, I'm going all in ballsy on XRP 3X leverage, baby. Just be close on the leverage. It's a much kinder, easier, and more rewarding world on the spot side, friend. Elias, welcome in. All the pieces are now all starting to fit together. Interesting times. It sure is, my friend. Sure is. Mario Dalton, or Mario Louise Williamson, or Willamese, welcome in. Harvey Boy, Big CJ, and Addict, welcome in. Addict says, hello, Tom. Long time ago, I still got the XRP coin you delivered all the way across the globe to my house. Oh, my God. This is a member who was part of the first 1,000 subscribers to my channel. I sent out tokens to ones who had made an influence and impact on the community, about 100 and something. And I used the donations I was getting. And it's a Ripple token. It's, I don't know if I have one on my counter right here. I don't think I have one right next to me, but it was a nice Ripple token. It was a nice bond, and I was hoping that everybody would keep it. And I'm glad to hear you did. It might look something like this, my friend, as this is the one that I have for myself. Oops. So I had sent this out to everybody who was in the audience in the very beginning, so I thought that was a pretty cool thing. And Attic, I'm glad nobody talked about that in a very long time, so it makes me proud that you still have that. Nick Morales, welcome in. Tanya May, Angela, thank you both so much for being in Tom's Army for over a year. And Tanya, we will go over, love. H-Bar, I promise you. H-Bar's made a fantastic move today, hasn't it? Haven't we talked about, Tanya, how H-Bar was undervalued? And as a community, does anybody remember the price? Yes, we bought it at 5.2 at the high. Over 10 weeks on H-Bar as a community, I told everybody $50 a week is all you had to give me. Took us 10 or 11 weeks. We got 10,000 plus tokens. And our 5.2 all the way down to 4.2, we bought in and all the way back up to 5.4. So we call it an average of 5.2, which we know it's lower than that, but we went from the first buy, not the lowest buy. So now we're all doing remarkable. We're getting closer to a 1x day by day with H-Bar. And I'm telling you, this is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. There was a $10 donation here that I missed. Oh, here we go. XRP Stu, thank you so much for the $10 donation. His third super chat since watching me on lives, holding since 2020, ready for liftoff. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much for that. And we're getting closer, friend. We're getting closer. We sure are. MJ, welcome in. Good day to you as well. Theo, welcome. When XRP goes, XLM goes automatic. Yes, sir. No. Not a stupid question. I've told everybody, and I'm very transparent, you better have just as many XLM tokens as XRP. Doesn't mean you have to spend the same dollar amount, but I believe in the 3X's. If you hold one, you hold them all. Equal tokens. You don't have to have dollar amount, but equal tokens. So I have at least 10,000 XRP, XLM, and XDC, as we know. Well, you all know I have 27,777 XDC to be exact, because it was a lot cheaper, and I think it was at a super value. But Theo, not a bad question, and I'm sure many others wonder. White Lotus, welcome in. Long time in the audience. I see you snuck on. EB, welcome in. Thomas Anderson, I appreciate you still being with us. Ahmad and been in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. That is unbelievable. Sean Nelson says, I love your channel. Well, I love that you love the channel, and I love that you are active in the chat as well. That means a lot to me. Honestly, there's no greater reward than seeing people comment to me. When I first started this channel, I was talking to nobody. Now I come on a Sunday, and there's 116 people in here. I had no idea that I actually did that on Winning Wednesdays. And now I have HBAR at over 10,000 at 5.2 at worst. It's a blessing in disguise what you did for me. Annie, I thought blockchain backer was the king, but it's actually you. I appreciate that. I used to compare myself to people, but now I don't see the point of it. Like if I'm tooting my own horn, it means I'm not doing a good job, or if I'm making somebody else, bringing them down just so I look better. But I do appreciate that sentiment. I do believe that this community is undervalued. Michael Hudson, welcome in. Crypto Bob, good evening to you as well. And happy birthday, Tanya, if I miss it this week. Oh, yes. It's the 21st. I knew it was coming around, but I knew... I thought I missed it when you said that, but I'm like, there's no way, because I thought it was after our 17th. Because Michaela, the oldest one in our house, she turned 17 today. So it's her 17th birthday. My stepdaughter, she's at her dad's right now, but her 17th birthday. She's been living with me since she was 7. I feel old. It's crazy how fast time goes. Donald, welcome in, and John London, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. Make sure if you do appreciate my work, consider joining Tom's Army to help pay it forward, or consider sending one super chat a month. That is all I ask for all the time I put in, and it's an exorbitant amount. If you're new, rest assured that I will be here every step of the way. We got to do better than this, though, folks. 134 people in here, only 64 likes. Don't stick the dagger through my heart this early. The more people that hit that like button, we can make a huge impact right now. Through the YouTube recommendations for this live, if you would just hit that like button, it goes farther than you could ever imagine. And I think the work is worth the like. I really do. If you appreciate what I do, if you want to see my community grow and you want to see our expansion within the XRP community, you must hit that like button. You must. John, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in, as I just said, I believe. Yes, I did. I just talked about John, so awesome to see you in here. Rockin' XRP Painter, welcome in. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for at least 6 months. I'd love to see one new member that has the Tom's Army emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. One new member that joined Tom's Army this month would be awesome. All right. So XRP right now. I know everybody's thinking, had XRP pump. 2 major things are unfolding right now. One, we've had a golden cross in the 4-hour lane. If you don't know what that is, some people use the 20, 50, 100, 200, which I like to do. More of the technical traders will use it by the 50, 100, and 200. Well, beautifully today, not only did we have the golden cross, but we came down validated, and that would mean the 20s crossing the 200 under my criteria. This red line goes through the blue. On most others' criteria, if they're using it just from 50 days in instead of 20, they would use this orange line, which is the 50-day moving average, to come through the blue line. So we've had a golden cross in both senses. Now, you would expect, and I know a lot of people are getting turned away again, because XRP went up to about 58 cents, came all the way back down, retouched here at 53.8, then it came up, to 56.2, and now they just assume this is just a downtrend. Well, to be honest with you, there's no doubt that we should come down and touch 549 likely. You don't have to, but it's very rare that you'll come through here, not back test this again without coming through. That's just my opinion. Holy crap, Harvey. Harvey boy, what a guy. I just said how awesome and how blessed I'd be to see somebody with that month 1 badge. And Harvey joins Tom's Army for 1 month, comes on board, and I know that because he's got the Tom's Army badge of me being abducted by aliens. It's damn true, folks. It sure is. That's my face superimposed on there. A girl Amber, who watched me on social media, she made that for me and sent me it. I didn't even know. I made it my month 1 badge. She had no idea that's what I was going to do. And I've kept it there for 3 years because I think it's a tremendous honor that she made that for me. And I think it's cool that she actually superimposed my face on there. So if you look at it, that's me from about 4 or 5 years ago. And I used it on this channel. She made it for me years ago. Oh, it was awesome. So, Amber, if you're watching from the abyss, thank you so much. And Harvey, I appreciate you coming on board here. G-Bird Crypto also has me being abducted by aliens. Oh, yes, that is my face superimposed on there. So it's pretty cool. So thank you so much for both of you being in Tom's Army for 1 month. What an incredible honor it is to see more and more people joining this beautiful community. And to see everybody who's continued on. As Zachary says, Lego. And he's got the 589 badge. So he's been part of the community in Tom's Army for over 2 years strong. And for anybody new, that's not $589. Oh, no. That was 58.9 cents for the end of 2023. You'd have to be part of the community to understand for a long time. But if you're not, now you're in on what is going on. So XRP, we got the daily close in 38 minutes. We're looking to have a hold right now, ladies and gentlemen. Right about here at the we can say 549. 55 cents would be a nice area to hold. And that's what I'm looking for this evening. I'm looking for XRP to try to hold this point. This happens to be the descending triangle formation that started in January of 2024. Now what we're trying to work on, if we hold this validation, we're trying to work on a push to right here. And this would be the resistance up here, getting close to 60 cents now, ladies and gentlemen. And this pattern started, so it's about 596. This pattern started in July of 2023. So if we can validate this move, which we've already done, and now we're just looking to hold the 55 cent area, remember. So if we hold 55, let's say, now you're looking for a bounce of about 8% to the next resistance. So now again, we're going level by level by level, and now it's opening up the door for an 8% spike here, an 8% rally. That's not the end of it, but as long as it holds this, our wait is legitimately over, and we're going to start going level by level until we hit the proper rejection. At minimum, that's 8 to 10%. Likely, it's going to be about 20 to 25% up. So you're talking about a 20 to 25% rally is likely as long as we hold this support level, because we've been stuck here for a long time. And if we can smack ourselves out of here, technically, you would bring back the rising channel resistance in the full play and full view, which is up here at 66.6 cents, ironically. And if you take that in the view, well, it's like, all right, well, why would you say June of 2022 is the primary part of this pattern, but you just showed us July of 2023? That's because that's a major pivot point that you can see by formation at that 596 right now. So as long as you get past that, you've opened up the door. You open up the door to go all the way back to June of 22. And then it's like, well, Tom, you're telling us about all this, but what's that upper pattern? I'm very curious about the top part of this pattern. Well, that's the all-time pattern. And I'm glad everybody who's watching asked that question, because it's actually a very good question. What ended up happening here, especially if you're new and please make sure to hit that like button. Up to 102 likes. If you hit that like button, it will allow YouTube to recommend this live and allow us to continue to grow this community. I think this community is on the verge of an explosion. I know we're at 20,100 subscribers, but at some point we're going to explode. And it may take until the next bull market, but we certainly survived a bear market. And that's very rare at the level we have. So allow me to continue to expand this at an incredible rate and allow us to continue to grow. The more eyes we have and the more understanding and the more hearts, the better. Approach this from a point of love and not hate in this community. You're not a victim, you're a winner here, and that's why we have to have all the education, not just from a charting perspective, but the news alike. And we're going to learn from the news in just a second after this. So, XRP, that resistance started, if you're new, all the way back in January of 2018. Welcome in, Juan. Good to see you in here, my friend. I hope to see us go up soon so you can get a haircut. So for anybody who doesn't know, here, my hair, I promised the community I wouldn't cut my hair until XRP hit $1. And that was back in July of 23. So as you can see, it's getting pretty long. We're on about, what is this, month 7? Is almost to a close now. I told him I wouldn't cut my goatee either. So that's something we have running in the community. And I probably won't cut either. And this is no joke until all-time highs. But I gave myself an out at $1. And Julie's all about it, my significant other. So with this, it seems like a wig to me. Yeah, I know. Some people say that. But I can assure you it is not a wig. God may have took one of my eyes when I was born. Because I can't see out of my left eye. See that? I have an eye. It looks like an eye, but I have keratoconus. So there's a big scar over the front of it, so I can't see. So God may have took one of my eyes so I could be blessed to see the difference between a big blur when I close my right eye and beautiful crystal clear vision at a certain level in my right eye. But he blessed me with hair, even though I can't see half of it, right? So, what I'm looking at here, for the pattern we're in all time, we came up here to resistance in January of 2018 at all-time highs. So, like on this one, on BITUNIX, it's 333. On others, it's 350. On others, it's 360. So, I just say 350. So, in January of 2018, we had a high of 350. Now, it took us 27 months, and I'm going to continue to bring this into everybody's head, day after day after day, because everybody always asks me, how do you know the levels? Because this is entrenched in my brain. I know all the levels. So it took us 27 months to come down here to March of 2020 after all-time highs at a 350, and then you made a low just about over 10 cents. So that's your range now. So now you know your uptrending support started in 2020. Your downtrending resistance started January of 18. So now you go to your next resistance, way up here, which was the bear market rally. Congratulations, everybody. You now understand that we had a big screw job in 21, and it wasn't even a bull market. Remember, we've got everybody up there, even on this exchange. And what do I always say? You're not in a bull market till everybody was made whole from the prior market and then some. So you tell me, were we in a bull market? Even on BITUNIX, they're still down 75%. They're down 75%. Where we're at $1.98. I mean, come on now. That is not a bull market. That's a bear market rally. So now we've established, we were having a 6-year consolidation now. We didn't establish it then, but we do know now because we're still in the consolidation. So now we came back down for another support after that bear market rally that failed. In 22, we came down to about 286, held. Then again, in 22, in December, came down to about 30 cents, held. Now we've been managing in here. That means we're in a 6-year consolidation. So now what does that mean? Well, if we did break out, I've got some targets here. If we break out by sometime around May, about Mother's Day of this year, you'd have an estimated target, and that doesn't mean it's going to happen in one day, but over a course of time, we would have broke out of a 6-year consolidation, and the technical target, if it plays true, you have to say if it plays true. I'm not a financial advisor. You're not a financial advisor, and even if we are, that doesn't make us any smarter. We just have a title. Unless you have the trading bot in front of you, you don't know exact motions. But $1.97 would be the technical target, and it makes a lot of sense to me because that happens to be the double top. So it's pretty crazy that it happens to be in that level. UK Phil, welcome in, my friend. Thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Emoji badge. You'd have to be back from way in the beginning to see how that all started, but we're not going to go there. So does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because we went through an awfully lot to get through that. And I don't think you're ever going to find anybody who's going to put it to that amount of effort to explain this to everybody. Because it's a lot, but I definitely know it to a T, and I'm proud of what I know. I'm proud of that I can give you all the education like this. And the ones who decide to come in here, you understand this chart at such a minute level, and we're up so much right now in regards to most people in this bear market. Makes me sad, kind of. that so many people thought that we were just jokers, joke artists, fleecers, the fleece heisters and shysters. And it turned out we weren't. We were the good guys. We're the good guys in this community. So the XRP market cap, big resistance we still haven't passed. So before you get excited, make sure we get past this resistance on the market cap. And this will tie in. I'm pretty sure this ties in at 32.27. I think that's going to be the 59.4 cent resistance on that pattern formation from July of 2023. And you know, that's not fair because if you just tuned in, well, how are you supposed to know the July of 2023 pattern? Sure, it's in my head and to the viewers who have been here. But if you're new, the July of 2023 resistance I'm speaking of, well, that's not it. This resistance right here. So you'll notice I have 3 different XRP charts I run off of. And then a fourth one is the XRP market cap. So you're going to know every single pattern going from January of 23 to July of 22, or January of 24 to July of 23, back to June of 2022 to January of 2018. You're also going to know the uptrending support that started in March of 2020. If that fails, you're going to know the pattern formation down in 2017. If that fails, you're going to know the pattern formation at 2013. The uptrending support, because we need to know everything. Kevin Bruner, thanks for your dedication. Tom, TFAM is grateful for you. Hey, I appreciate that. And a $5 donation. That's incredibly generous. It always makes me, my heart tingle a little bit. Or I feel like just the warmth. Whenever somebody does that, like the generosity of joining Tom's Army or sending a YouTube super chat. Because let's be real, I'm doing this. This isn't a real job. You know, I made something out of nothing, and you all are allowing me to continue to do this. It's an incredible thing. H-bar, real quick, as we continue to push through to the daily close, and please hit that like button to allow YouTube to recommend this video. We have a pretty wide audience tonight, but we could still do a lot better on the likes. 173 viewers, 120 likes. Please make sure you hit that like button. Allow YouTube to recommend this video for me. If you all hit that like button, it would be an incredible feat. And so many more people will get the word about this. And I believe we do an integral part in the crypto sphere. We offer a service that I believe is unique. And that's not to put anybody else down, because I'm sure some others do a good job. But we're special here. We do something different. And it takes every single one of you to continue this. I can't do it alone. So Tanya, I know you're still here. H-bar. And was anybody here with us on Winning Wednesdays when we bought H-bar? I'm just curious. Because don't give me credit. Give Tanya a lot of credit. She kept, Tom, you got to buy H-bar. You keep saying you're going to buy H-bar. It's time to buy H-bar. So that's when I came up with Winning Wednesdays, and we started with H-bar. Ramming Speed says, we are not afraid, although there's much fear. Absolutely. And JW was with us. That's awesome. So H-bar right now, we're looking for a next tier breakout. We're looking to hold 8.8 cents. And we'll be on top of this rising channel. And finally, after all this time, we could finally make that next tier move. We've been stuck in this for so long. I have not even added the next tier because it was just such a long consolidation. We had the bottom all figured out. And we didn't quite make it all the way through the tiers, which was cool. We stopped before we could make it to the all-time support. Now, I think it's pretty interesting where we find ourselves. And we're going right back to XRP. And don't you go anywhere if you're here, because we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. We've got to go through the SEC versus Ripple discovery deadline. That's 2 days away, so that you know what to expect. We'll talk about which banks are using XRP on the Ripple global network. So we're exploring the Ripple global network. And then we're going to talk about I don't know if it's FUD or fear or FOMO being put out by Forbes, but they're talking about face-ripping rally incoming, why the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP price boom could be just getting started. I just thought it was interesting that even Forbes has put XRP there by name. You don't see that very often. So, now, like for me, I'm about to get rid of a lot of this stuff for the H-bar chart. And I know some people are going to say, Tom, I know you were so against getting rid of this before. I was. But there's certain things now that we have to get rid of so we can see this a little bit better. A lot of this, we've already done what we wanted to with the few tier setups here. But now, I need to see this for what it is. Now we've got to start doing this. Since we came through here, came back down, you're starting to build, hopefully, not a top wall resistance here. And then we'll be able to come through here. So if we come through that, I'm going to be very excited. Then you'll be able to target just above that at about 11 cents. So let's see how we react in this little zone here. I'm not going to confuse everybody. That's all we're going to do. We'll add to it as we go. But we're looking for that 11 cent mark. Now, if we do break up, that would be the resistance point. Right now, it's a little bit under that at about 10 and some change, but it's going in a very nice way. DGB is up 7.7%. It's breaking out right now as we speak. And at some point, we talked about this a long time ago. We're coming up to that 1.2, 1.3 level. We've done a fantastic job with DGB. If you bought one, I have 77,700 DGB. And I have it for just about 0.065, I believe it is. It was a little lower, but I added more to it, as some of you know, with some of the members of the community, around 0.008. I told them, don't be afraid. I sold 10,000 tokens at 15 cents with DGB, and I bought it at 5 cents initially. Now I have 7.7 times more, and I bought it for legitimately 90% off. 99% off. What is this? Juan, whoa. Wow. That's a, those ones always catch me by surprise. Juan, thank you so much for that $50 donation. That's an incredibly generous, and that's a big donation, especially in the environment we live right now. Thank you so much for that. Like, holy smokes. And you're welcome for the dedication. It's all I know, my friend. So whether XRP 10x is, our portfolio's 10x, 100x, I'll still be here. This is all I know. Some people say, Tom, I appreciate the fact that this is the only way you know how to start your day now. And it's true. I don't know how else to start my day. First thing I do is this, and this looks terrible. Who the hell made this chart? Like, seriously, I made that chart. What happened there? There's no way I made it. Maybe I did. Even all of us don't make the right thing sometime, I suppose, because that looked terrible. Not that it mattered, because we had the resistance over the top, right? But underneath, what if it would have come down farther? And then I would have just... Anyhow. So... DGB... What is this? Wow, Michael sending his 5th YouTube Super Chat, sending $5. Man, you guys are very generous. And gals. I want to read that, too. I just got to wait for it to come back. But DGB right now is attempting a breakout here. We're trying to hold this 0.0935. I think we came just under it again. But that's a lot of volume coming in here. A lot of volume. Looks like we're holding support here. It's just now it's a matter of, are we going to swing back up? Almost looks like we could have started a little cup here. That'll swing back around to almost that 1 cent mark. Where are we at exactly with DGB? 928. So just below that, like, look for the 9.4 area. You really want to be above. Michael says, thank you. You are my go-to for digital asset information. Holy crap. Thank you so much for that. XDC, XLM. Then we're going to go in the news. And then we're going to come right back to XRP and Bitcoin. Because I want to read the stuff about, because literally, I know there's a lot of stuff. I know it's Saturday, but we really need to go over the topic of what we're to expect in 2 days, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about for 2 days from now. We have another of those pesky deadlines that are approaching, or points of interest for the XRP or Ripple versus SEC case. So XDC right now, up 1.67%. And you'll know I'm very excited about XDC. Super excited. And look how nicely these formations are playing out. When I say they're on trading bots, I say that for a reason, because once you understand the formation, look how it always does this. Back down, up, back down for support. Now we have to get past the 200-day resistance at 433 approximately. Then it already tells us we're coming up to 452. So I'm anticipating it at 452, but most likely a break through the structure, because me personally, if this breaks up, I see an overextended inverted right arm, and this does happen from time to time. It's not common for you to have an inverted left arm, inverted head, overextended inverted right shoulder, but if it breaks up, it doesn't end up necessarily being that. You start to go ba-boom, 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 and then you just start to see a huge breakout. That's basically a bottoming formation. It's more in a descending fashion, right? Which we know if it's in a descending channel, what are these? Bullish reversals at the bottom. So this would make perfect sense for a nice rally here to come. It is the precipice here, or you could say the catalyst, or the rejection point would be 436, so you can't get excited till you break the 200-day, or the yeah, the 200-day and the 2-hour time frame would be the first sign of an immediate reversal. And then you can go on from there. So we're attempting it right now. That's a beautiful W reversal. Looks like more of a Gartley setup, even though it's kind of a jank looking one at that. But so be excited about XDC. Hell, be excited about our whole damn list. What am I talking about? The numbers they are now compared to where we buy makes my head want to jump off the screen. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's just awesome. XLM's up 1.4%. And like, think about how little XLM's moved when we bought it. We bought it at 8.5. It doesn't seem like it moved a lot, but 11.5 is a hell of a lot higher than 8.5. On 10,000 tokens, you're talking about a $300+ difference to buy just 10,000 tokens right now. So, you know, it's pretty cool. XLM right now is at 11.57. It was at the bottom of its formation yesterday or 2 days ago, and it's starting to push up here. We're looking at a push out here. If you're not looking at all the in-between levels, ultimately is at 13.5. Goose Fraba, welcome in. Observation, shoot, I forget, didn't see the last part of it. It says, hit that like button. Indeed, please hit that like button. Observation channel, thank you so much. Do you own any ICP? I do not. I do not. So that's what we're looking at for XLM. So let's continue on. For anybody who just came in, XRP right now, 55.5 cents. Does everybody remember what we talked about if you've been here since the beginning? We're looking at a retest at 55 cents more than likely. I don't know how often that you would prove a reversal. Although we did come up once. If we hold the 20-day, that's fine, and then 2-hourly. But it does seem awfully ominous that we wouldn't come back down here and retest this formation that we got back above now from January of 2024. We failed the first time, but quickly pulled back up. But we're trying to avoid a head and shoulder style formation. So, and we're starting to have what could be a V-shaped recovery if we could just pull up a little bit farther. So expect, if we do come down, to retest that area right there. That's what I would expect if I was each and every one of you. Alejandro, welcome. And I'm going to go grab my frozen water from the freezer. And then we're going to read this first. Then we're going to get into the rest. Make sure you hit that like button as I step away for just about 15, 20 seconds. If you want to join me in relaxation with some cannabis, I would greatly appreciate if you want to do that while we're reading. It always makes things a lot funner. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. So let's get through this first. So we got to stay ahead of the SEC versus Ripple case, and we know there's a serious discovery deadline 2 days away, so let's get into it. Does anybody understand what's coming in the next 2 days, or is this news to you? If you're an XRP or Ripple fan, if you're new to the channel, did you know about this? So SEC versus Ripple discovery deadline 2 days away, what to expect. And as I promised in the lives, we're going to do more than just the charts. We're going to go through the grand scope here, and we're going to learn together. Cleo, I wouldn't be going anywhere with your XRP. I think right now, in the sense, it'd be a mistake to get rid of it here. Although I'm not a financial advisor and I don't know your personal strategy, I don't know where you bought it from. But I personally think that this is not the time in history to get rid of XRP. And we're going to go through here tonight as well which banks use XRP. So,
very loud sounds.
Oh my goodness. So SEC versus Ripple discovery deadline 2 days away, what to expect. As Ripple and SEC's discovery war intensifies, February 20th deadline looms with potential to sway crucial XRP remedy decision. So, yeah, I know a lot of people haven't really been talking about this, but so I figured I'd make it a point of reference today before it gets too close. So a looming deadline has ignited the search for game-changing efforts in the Ripple versus SEC battle. Both sides have scrambled for leverage as the discovery phase nears its end, shaping their final arguments. The decision has hinged on undisclosed information and legal tactics, leaving the future clouded. Where did I put my wall? Oh, right here. The future clouded. The long-running legal battle between Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has reached a critical juncture. Both parties are gearing up for the next key deadline, February 20th, which marks the end of the discovery phase, focused on remedies related to XRP sales. So now 1 week until Ripple and SEC discovery deadline. This phase holds immense significance as it could unearth new information or arguments that may sway the court's decision on the appropriate remedies against Ripple. Recall that while Ripple scored a partial victory in July 2023, the court ruled that certain XRP sales did constitute unregistered securities offerings, prompting the current proceedings. Unfortunately, we went through the entire 60 or 70 page amendment or the entire legal documents. And what we ascertained from that, and we actually came to a logical conclusion, was that programmatical sales and retail investors, that was fine. But on institutional sales, eventually that they kept saying that that was still a security or not right. So they're still facing that scrutiny. So that's what we're still facing. And then it's even less than that because they basically amounted it to some kind of computer code, which, as we know, a computer code is not a security. So they've even knocked themselves in that way. So the road to February 20th has been paved with intense legal maneuvering. In November, the SEC served Ripple with 9 interrogatories and 3 requests to produce documents. After attempts to narrow down the scope, the SEC filed a motion to compel complete discovery in January, seeking access to the Ripple's financial statements, relevant contracts, and post-complaint XRP sales proceeds. Judge Netmer granted the motion in full on February 5th. Ripple has compiled by disclosing financial statements and responding to the pre-complaint sales inquiry. However, they requested a 1-week extension until February 20th to produce the vast amount of contracts spanning 3 years, citing logistical challenges. This extension request remains pending, which it seems like it's more than pending since 2 days away is the 20th. So with the discovery phase nearing completion, legal briefs are expected to be submitted in March and April. This will be followed by the court's final decision on the remedies imposed on Ripple. This decision will have significant implications for Ripple, the XRP ecosystem, and the broader cryptocurrency industry, as it could set a precedent for how regulators approach digital assets. On the flip side, a harsh ruling against Ripple, especially based on broad interpretation of securities laws, would stifle blockchain and digital asset innovation. The SEC's wide-ranging discovery request, including financial statements and vast contracts, raise concerns about potential overreach and burdening Ripple. While the outcome of the case remains uncertain, the upcoming February 20th deadline marks a critical turning point in the landmark crypto legal battle. The court's decision on appropriate remedies will set a precedent for how regulators approach similar situations in the future, impacting not only Ripple but potentially other digital assets. So that's what I wanted to read with that. So hopefully that information found you well. This I'm not going to read yet. I'm gonna let that simmer because we've already taken too much time. But while we get into that, we've got 11 more minutes until the daily close, and I would like to spend it with all of you while I'm here. I think the fact that 149 of you are still here, 153 of you hit that like button. That's incredibly awesome. I tell you to hit the like button so that YouTube recommends our video or our live to more people, but everybody and then some have hit the like button according to the likes. So give yourself a round of applause. Nothing else I can say. So which banks use XRP? Exploring Ripple's global network, because I know a lot of people always ask this question. So Ripple XRP is a popular choice among banks worldwide. The network's fast transaction speed, low gas fees, and energy-efficient consensus make it an ideal cryptocurrency for traditional financial institutions. Fortunately, this is exactly the clientele that Ripple Labs has in mind. While other blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum are focused on serving the masses, Ripple is specifically designed for the world's largest financial players. So I'm not going to go through what Ripple is or the fees or any of that, but I want to go through the banks right now that are confirmed to be working with Ripple. So you can see it's not just one bank. It's not just in one country, but there's substantial banks in different countries that you'll see. And these are just a verified list. You can go through and you can have speculation of more, but Santander in the USA, which is important. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce in Canada, Kotak Mahindra Bank in India. I don't even know how to say some of these. Italo Ubanco in Brazil. Inducine in India. Insta in Singapore. BTEC in Brazil. Zip Remit in Canada. Lian in China. Rock Bank in UAE. I love the United Arab Emirates. I think that's who that is, right, Julie? UAE. IFX in the UK. TransferGo, also in the UK, with Currency Direct. Air Wallets in Australia. SCB in Sweden. SBI Remit in Japan. CM Commercial Bank in Thailand. And also Krungsri in Thailand. So those are just some banks that we know are already working with XRP. As we're waiting for the close, let's take a look at some of the technical indicators here that technical traders could use. It could give us a better understanding of what's to come. Because technical traders will most likely be the ones to take out that leverage. Right now, on the chart right now, it shows XRP in the last week's up 6.14%. In the last month, we've eked back over a little gain here, up 0.71%. 3 month, we're down 11.15%. Love you too, Julie. 6 months, we're up 5.96%. 1 year, year to date, we're down 9.66%. But over the last year, we're up 40.8%. It's still a buy. But if we go to more technicals, if we put it into the 4 hourly, we've got 2 sell, 9 neutral, and a sell on the oscillators. On the moving averages, we've got 3 sell, 11 buys, and 1 neutral on the moving averages. And then the summary is 11 buy, 5 sell, 10 neutrals, which makes it a interesting buy right now. And then for the Fibonacci, the main reason we're here, if you do like the Fibonacci, is I don't use it, but I still like to show what the numbers are. In the 4 hourly on the Fibonacci, we have a pivot level at 51.9 cents. Support 1 is 504, support 2, 495, and support 3, 48 cents. Right now, we've cleared and held resistance 1 at 535, resistance 2 at 544 as well. We're currently working on trying to flip resistance 3 at the 55.9 cent level, but that won't happen until we confirm the descending triangle breakout and reestablish that right around 54.9 cent level as support. And that's what it appears we're working on all day today. As we came down to 54.1 cents, held the 200-day, pop back over the descending triangle. And now we're trying to work on that. And as we know, that pattern formation started, or maybe you don't, so I'm telling you, it started in July of 2023. If you're looking for those indicators that I just showed you, just click on XRP on TradingView. Go down to the bottom where you can see all this, where you can scroll down by the market cap and everything. And then go to more. And then simply go down here and click on more technicals and scroll to the bottom. Make sure you switch to at least a 4 hourly so you get an accurate depiction in the Fibonacci if that's what you're looking for. So, and then the 24-hour volume right now on, which one is this? On BITUNIX for XRP is 675 million. On Binance, it's at, oh no, that's just the 24-hour volume. What am I talking about? Of XRP is at 600. I thought it was talking about the exchange volume. I was gonna say that's a lot of volume. But XRP's 24-hour volume is 675 million. So not too shabby. Market cap's at 30.367 billion right now. All-time high on this exchange was $3.35. Circulating supply is up to a meager 54.559 billion out of 99.98 billion. Whew. Man, we went around the barn. We went around everywhere in this update, or this live. I'm excited. I like updates like this, or lives. I always wonder, does it bother anybody that I go through so much stuff in such a small amount of time? Or do you appreciate the fact that you can go all around crypto in an hour and 15 minutes, and then you can always replay it? I don't know how to stop. I got so much information to give that I have to do it quick, or I know I'm not going to get it out. Either way, I just appreciate everybody. More than you know. Not all banks, some are remittance companies and just interfaces. Indeed they are. Indeed they are. Thank you for that, Jacob. I really appreciate that. All Day Golf says, I like Tom's crazy brain. And oh, Julie can attest to it. I have one crazy-ass brain. It's an overthinking brain, but it works good in the aspect of crypto trading and doing this kind of stuff because my mind never stops. So, and I love numbers, and I love seeing the connections. So, that's how we made this connection with Bitcoin. We all know that Bitcoin is in the broadening wedge. Well, I simply added this right here that I highlighted I simply added that uptrend so that we could see how it started an ascending formation from the bottom of the broadening wedge. Well, the broadening wedge, let's just say the legend says, I like that word. The legend says on a broadening wedge, which you can see the uptrending resistance, downtrending support, that's a broadening wedge form. So the legend says you only need 2 hits on each side to confirm that pattern, and each side is going to be much more volatile. So increasingly volatile. Resistance 1, support 1, resistance 2. We called it here. Remember? Everybody thought we were in a bull flag when it busted. We said it's not a bull flag. It's a broadening wedge. It has to come all the way down, and it did for resistance or support 2. Then we said the resistance 3 is all the way back up if it stays true. And what did it do? And what did we even do in this community so that we didn't trick people? I have a second chart just so nobody can be like, oh, well, Tom, what is this bull flag you speak of? That's the formation everybody thought we were in right up until here. And I said, when it did this, I said, it just expanded into a broadening wedge, and we have to pay attention to what that means. We knew the technical target down here. In fact, we even put it down there on this chart instead of actually putting the broadening wedge. And it came within hundreds of dollars of hitting that exact target. We realigned it with 38,600. I think it was a couple $100 lower. But you have to validate your pattern once it actually happens instead of speculation. So that's what it looked like to the world we were in until this little run-up happened. And we said, not so fast. Even though it still did this, and everybody just assumed when it dropped that it was a bull flag doing its normal consolidation. But we knew once it did that, it was no longer an overextension, and now you had to find it on the other side. And that's exactly what happened. And this thing is played so true that it's hard to believe. It's almost like a trading bot knew where to go. But the reason why I say that is because if we break out now of this area we're in right now, it's incredible. This would be the incredible breakout of all breakouts. Because if we get above this broadening wedge, we've already hit all these points, right? We've already hit 1 resistance, 1 support, 2 resistance, 2 support, 3rd resistance here. You don't have to hit a 3rd support now to confirm it. And a broadening wedge, unlike every other pattern, is mostly 3 hits on each side. The broadening wedge legend says 2 hits on each side because they're continuation patterns, and then typically you'll break out. This is a broadening wedge coming in bullish. These are typically bullish consolidations, which is why you break down and then you make the big breakout. And this, the technical target out of this, if it plays true, and this isn't to just say, oh, this is going to happen, this is guaranteed. The technical target for Bitcoin, if this plays true, if it were to break out, which we've got a long ways to go, just in the area we're in is about 65K. Now, mind you, we have to get all the way back up here now and forget this pivot point. I don't even care about this. I could care less about that now. The only thing I care about is this broadening wedge resistance. 53,650, 600, depending on where we hit it. And make no mistake about it, Bitcoin's cleared a lot of room here. So if we want to say Bitcoin is breaking down, you better be damn sure when you go short here with Bitcoin that you don't just hand over your money. Because I'm telling you, at some point, even if it does this, it's going to build some kind of a bullish handle. And even if it comes, I don't know if it's going to come all the way down there. What I could see happening is if we got a double top, maybe this, and then bounce out. But that would be under a unique circumstance that it comes up, rounds it, hits it, needs more, comes out. I could see that in a heartbeat. But right now we got to play it honest. Got to play it honest. Until Bitcoin rotates, it hasn't rotated. Doesn't matter that, and I've talked about warning with their RSI, but it honestly, as I've said just as much as I say that we're overextended, the RSI doesn't, as long as it can prove it's bullish within the relative strength being overextended, like that means you got institutions coming in and pulling the price. If you ask me, the daily doesn't look that bullish, but it also doesn't look as bearish as it could. There was barely any downside pressure, which makes it very interesting. The fact that technically today is a Sunday, but it might as well be Saturday, and tomorrow might as well be Sunday because of President's Day in the USA, makes it very intriguing. That is starting to, does anybody know what just, we have an engulfing candle to the top side. If this continues on, that's bullish. This could break us, even if it's bearish. Maybe it does come up here to 53,700 area. But that's engulfing, not the entire thing, but it engulfed more to the top side. If it would have started engulfing to the downside, I said, all right, there's downside pressure. But the end of that candle And the majority of it, there was much more topside pressure it's showing. We didn't break into a new higher low, but it's showing us there's a chance here. There's a chance for this for continuation. XRP closed at, was that 55 points? We got to see because it hasn't updated. 55 point. About 55.7 cents. 50, we'll say 55.6. So we close in a good spot. We close in a good spot for XRP. I appreciate 149 of you stuck it out until 7 p.m. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the over 20,100 subscribers. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button as it will help expand our reach through the YouTube recommendation. So, but everybody is honestly doing a tremendous job. We had a beautiful close here as well for XRP. As of right now, we did close that daily over for the first time. I mean, consider that. I mean, we were over it, but a first real close. But we didn't have most of the pressure because we were still down here for a lot. If you want to know what I mean, look in the 4 hourly. If you go back 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 hours ago, we closed below. We finally got back up here now 1 day later, and we proved that that could have just been a liquidity grab. So now we're going to look. Does this engulf to the top side? It's got a chance. First resistance you've got to get past in the daily time frame is this resistance at 55.92. Your next goal now, even if you have a pitiful daily, you're looking to close before tomorrow. So let's just say we come back here tomorrow. We do this again like we will, because I'm here 7 days a week around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And not to mention all the updates I do during the day, but the live in itself. If you see us tomorrow when we re-adjourn, or we reconvene, I should say, and we're over 56 cents, that's a beautiful close on the daily. Now, what I'd like to see is a close over the top as well over that 100-day at 562, because now we're reversing the pattern. If you at any time you see a close over this resistance up here at almost 58 cents, we're bona fide on our way. Big stuff is happening here, folks. There is a massive chance here that we are going to have a unexpected rally that most aren't going to see coming. And when I say most, this would catch many people off guard. What the hell is that? That, you know what? It caught me off guard because I don't know. I didn't know I was going to get that. But it would catch many people off guard if we did swing around and then XRP all of a sudden does this. You're going to get a lot of people that are like, oh, what the hell just happened here? I was waiting for sub 30. Or I didn't think I sold at 55. We had some people that said they sold at 56, and I was like, oh my goodness. You're selling out, and we're just trying to prove the descending triangle is busted. Like, there's a big formation starting here. And I think that would catch some off guard, just this move. Not to mention we called this from the bottom here. So it's already come up 15%. We were talking before how it would be a crazy 40% move. But now we're on our way. So now it's like I can't even say that. Yeah, from the bottom where we were talking about this, when it hit this downtrending, what an opportunity that was back in January. We talked so much about it. For anybody who missed the 34-cent buy-in in January of 23 or February 23, that was a beautiful opportunity to start 24. And now you can be at 40%. Now the crazy part of this move, well, maybe not 40% until you get all the way to the top, but you're already up a nice percentage here. But the crazy part is the continuation here. That caps off the rest of the run up to about 66.6 cents. And you're talking about anywhere from a 22 to 25% rally here. And it's looking nice. We're trying to invalidate that death cross. That's the important part here. And what a lot of people are still failing to recognize, and we talked about this many weeks ago, that golden cross has not been invalidated yet. It would have took several weeks. Several weeks. And we survived that downward tug here on the weekly. Now our job on this weekly, we're going to push our ass to get over that 5625 mark. Because now we want to get back on the top side of that golden cross. And we have not. I repeat, we have not had the explosive move we had the first two times. We had a golden cross in the weekly. And I theorized, where I circled here, that that's the first time it happened. So then we had a magnificent move, as you can see, the first time. And then the second time it happened is where I circled it here. And you had a magnificent move all the way up. Now it's the third time it happened, and look at this consolidation. The third time, not where this is at. Let me delete this so nobody's confused. The third time is where I circled it right here. That's only the third time in XRP's history you had a golden cross in the weekly time frame confirmed. Every single time, including this one, was at least a 57% drop from the top. I believe it was. This was the lowest of the three. Before that, it had been at least 60%. But now you've had three, so they're always going to be different. So at least a 40... What is this? Oh, no. Sorry. It went back farther. It was 53% from the top to the bottom. 53.4%. So at least when a golden cross, the next time we see it, if we see a fourth instance somewhere in the years to come, we'll know in the first three events that we had at least, if it breaks out from where it was at least you'd be expecting a 53.4% correction after the initial golden cross breakout. Isn't that a crazy statistic? Think about that. That's probably what's going to happen when XRP goes to all-time highs. When it clears out everybody at 350, it'll probably come back down to $1.75, $1.50, $1.20, because all those people are going to get out. You're going to have a lot of people that have rode up from where we're at, and they turn 3,500 into 35,000. You better believe they're going to have an itch to get out too. So at that point, we'll make an educated and informed decision. If I can get out for 35 grand and buy back in for 15, you better believe I'm going to do it. You have all that money to do whatever you need to do for your families and then buy some precious metals, but I guarantee you we'll be right back in when it gets to the point. But that's a unique situation that would allow us if that happens. But anyhow, that's what we're facing here. So the enormity of this situation is massive. And I don't really know who can depict it the way I do, and that's not a slack on anybody else. The golden cross using the exponential moving averages is, the way I use it is I use the 20-day, 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day moving averages. So that means you got the 20-day out buyers, the 50-day out, from anywhere from 20 days out to 200. So now when you're looking at it in this perspective, you're looking at it, all right, well, in the weekly sense, the 20-day buyer's down here. So what you're looking at is these guys are all buying. It's still valuable to them all the way up to the 50-day moving average. Well, sometimes you get a sale and then you come back up to wherever the uptrend's at. Well, now the 20 and 50-day, people from 20 and 50 days out from where we're at all started buying in this range. And they all said, okay, this is still a great value. Now when we started coming up, we attracted the 200-day buyers along with it. And we started to attract the 100-day and the 200. And we've got everybody in here now. So now once you have everybody in all of these groups say, okay, it's a good buy and nobody sells, you start to reverse the short-term trend. So when the 20-day comes through the 200, which is the red coming through that dark blue line, that's a trend reversal. And you're confirming it with the golden cross. So you hold the support on the 200 and then you break out. And then you have to sometimes hold it a couple times. But that's the short-term trend reversal. Now, what ends up happening sometimes is you start to get the buyers after a run and it's not worth holding anymore. Now they wait to the next support, then you have a death cross and it's the exact opposite. So if I showed this in like a smaller time frame, it'd be a lot easier to explain this. So basically, after this event happened, we went through a golden cross and we went back into distribution. Actually, I better go back into the weekly. And to describe distribution real quick, it's pretty simple to me. We had that golden cross when we came way back up here. Everybody holding's like, nah, it's not worth it. We came up to 93 cents. There's nobody here, so then we had to start coming down. Even when we came here at 85, there wasn't enough buyers. So it's like having a product. You have a bunch of products here, and you got a mass influx of people. You don't have enough fucking products. Like right here. We got 4,700 products here we put in. 4,761 products is how we're going to look at this. Well, there's too many damn people buying it. There's too many people. The price starts exploding because everybody who's selling, which there might not even be anybody, there's all these people coming in and the one person selling, there's 10 people buying. So now the price kept going up until that was not the case anymore. Finally, when it got up here, they kept raising the prices. And then once it got to 9,327 people, they said, you know what? There's more of us than you have. There's way more product now. We're not paying that much. You got too much inventory. We're going to wait for it to go on sale. So you got a sale. Now you have a sale down here in 8,534. Well, that's less people than came up. And so now the inventory keeps going down. So now you're looking for clearance. Well, it didn't happen until it got down here to 4,435, you could say, where people thought it was a good deal and they started rushing back in. And now you've been consolidating. That's how you have to look at this. Like, you have to find the demand. So the demand was not there. So we went back to the supply zone until the demand was ready. Well, no supply, no demand. Well, we're going to go down until it meets again. And now we're in that crescendo moment. We're legitimately at a point now in the chart, and it's so crazy we're here, where we are moments away, if we get the proper move, of a huge breakout. This has been going on for so long that we're almost at that point. We could be at that point. We don't know. But ultimately, your first step is going to be to get out of this rising channel. Then you can deal with the all-time formation again. But this, the fact it started in June of 22, is significant. And then some I've talked about. That's one thing I forgot to talk about. Bitcoin dominance. If we're looking at an alt season, we're going to need Bitcoin dominance, which I watch just as much as the rest. And that was an expectation of what could happen. Well, we know that didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen. So this is where you have to update it. We know that didn't happen. We actually started a formation. This is actually interesting. Because this is what we ended up making, believe it or not. So it is interesting. And I think I'm going to keep it. I think that downtrending resistance for the dominance chart, if that breaks, you very well could see a very quick move to the downside. If that dominance breaks, if we lose this structure, that's when alt season could legitimately come into play. The moment this gets lost, I think it's something like that. I know it looks stupid, but I do think it's hard to come out with in the weekly, but I think that's what's happening. So if the weekly is getting squeezed and we broke that rising channel, remember, rising channels are bearish reversals at the top. So once this breaks down, if we did bust this, we do have a golden cross in the weekly, which we can't ignore. So we need, but those are lagging indicators. So we need this to be busted. So we want this to play out, and then we want to have a big drop down to about 50.63%. That's the start of a alt season. You need this to come down, though. You can't have all the money in Bitcoin. We went from 38% of the money being in Bitcoin just back in September of 22. Now we've ballooned up to 53.8%. 53.8%, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, damn. Look at the bull market of 21. At the peak of it, Bitcoin had 39% of the money. That's when the season started. Like, you had a huge move in here. That's what we're waiting for again. We'll see what happens, though. But eventually it's going to open up. But just know alt season can't start until this actually reverses. Yeah, this looks jank, and I'll get rid of some of this because it's just not necessary. But that rising channel is so important. Now that it broke and that little pattern we're in that kind of formed on the outside tells us everything. If that breaks down here, look out, sweetheart. Man, have we been waiting a while. We've been waiting several years for this to actually materialize. So, what do we think? What do we think? I think I'm all talked out, ladies and gentlemen, on this fine Sunday. We were together for an hour and 8 minutes. We had a lot of people in here tonight, and I greatly appreciate that. If you do appreciate what I do, consider joining Tom's Army for the elaborate amount of time I put in. To put in perspective, I haven't missed a day since March of 2021 if you're new, and I put out over 4,300 videos, including lives. So if you do appreciate what I do, consider joining Tom's Army. Get one of those cool emoji badges. I'd love to see more people with me being abducted by aliens in front of my screen. And then carrying on all the way out to the badge that Crypto Scrooge has. And welcome in, Crypto Scrooge. He's been on for over 2 years in Tom's Army with that 589 badge. And make sure you watch Crypto Scrooge. He does a fantastic job here on YouTube. And he's been in the community since day one. So definitely somebody I'm proud of for trying to do it himself as well. He covers Solo, Corium, anything with the XRP ledger, delves into XRP and some of the technology. So if you do appreciate what I do, consider joining Tom's Army or sending one YouTube super chat a month. Make sure you hit that like button for the YouTube recommendations as this community is going to continue to explode and expand as long as each and every one of you help me in that regard. If you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto, look in the video description below. Make sure you take advantage of MEXC if you can. They have zero spot fees on spot fee, or they have zero fees on spot and leverage trading right now for the next several weeks. It doesn't say exactly when it's going to end, but that's ongoing until otherwise noted. So take advantage of that while you can. I have that link in the description below, along with the other exchanges I use that are cheaper spot fees, just for reference. And then other than that, have a blessed evening. Make sure you give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I thank each and every one of you for tuning in, because it's been a glorious, glorious day here on this live. And I thank each and every one of you for putting up with me. Have a blessed night, everybody.